Good evening, lovely viewers. The reason most people never reach their goals is that they don't define them or ever seriously consider them as believable or achievable. Winners can tell you where they are going, what they plan to do along the way, and who will be sharing the adventure with them. I am Deborah Quarshie, and I'm your host for this evening's Bible discussion. Our guest for tonight is the CEO of Agri Impact Consult and the Executive Director of ASNAP Ghana. He's a married man with 3 sons and a beautiful daughter, and he's married to Mrs. Joyce Aquaye. Today, our guest is in the person of Elder Dan Fahene Aquaye. Elder Dan, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Elder, our topic for discussion tonight is building your desired future. In as much as we are Christians, we wouldn't want to walk in this life and come out as failures. That is not what God planned for us. As Christians, if we talk of the good people of the land, we are supposed to be the first, not just parts, the first. So this evening, we would want to delve more into it. Since you are an accomplished businessman and a consultant, we believe your knowledge in this field will go a long way to help us. What does it mean to build a desired future?
Thank you very much. To build a desired future means, first of all, you must know which future you are building. And there's a saying that if you don't know the destination, any place takes you there. Or if you don't know where you are going, any place becomes your destination. So you need to have a mental picture of yourself, of where you want to be. And it is not when you are 60 years or 70 years before you begin to think of where you want to be. It's something that becomes part of your lifestyle, that it is where I want to go. And we are glad the Bible also talks about dreams and visions. And it is important that as individual, you must be able to have something in your mind that when I grow, when we are young, we used to make a statement. When I grow, I will become this. When I grow, I will do that. When I grow, I will buy this. Yeah. Now you have grown.
So what are you doing?
What are you doing? But even at your childhood time, there's a dream and a vision that you have, because the moment you say, when I grow, I will want to become, it is a vision. But what I would say is that vision is also not static, and dreams are not static. As you move along the ladder, you begin to aspire for things that are higher than maybe initially you will have thought. So dreams and visions are very important, not only for Christians, but for every individual. And the dream and vision, or a future that you want to have for yourself, is what will inspire you to overcome certain challenges that will come along the way.
Elder, as Christians, there's this scripture where we say that for God knows the plans he has for us, that they are not plans of evil, they are plans of good, and he will take us to an expected end. So then if God knows the plans he has for me, they are not plans of evil, it will take me to an expected end, then as a Christian, I do not need to put in so much effort. So my question is that, as Christians, should we envisage or see the future, dream of it? Can we afford the luxury of dreaming and have a vision for the future, or we should just relax and sit back and, as we say, let Jesus take the wheels?
As for Jesus, you take the wheels. But it depends on how you will sit in the vehicle and how you go along with him. Your parents plus you will have a desired future. Like you want to be a pharmacist. Your parents will take you to school and can provide you with all your school fees and whatever you need. But it's up to you to learn and pass your exams for you to attain your desired future. God has made all the provisions that we need for us to become successful. But a lot of the responsibilities are also on us. So if you take the people of Israel, he promised them a land flowing with milk and honey. He could have dropped that land to wherever they were. In fact, even in the land of Egypt, God could have still given only the Israelites milk and honey on the land of Egypt. But he decided not to do that, but to take them. And it was a long journey for them to get to the expected end. It is the same thing that if God says that he has plans for us and it is good, you can never doubt it. But the journey to go there, you will have a lot of challenges on the way. You will need faith. You will need hope against hope. You will need determination. You will have to work hard. You have to pursue that dream.
Okay, so from what you are saying, that means that in as much as we are Christians and as much as we are relying on God, it does not stop us from having a plan for ourselves.
Oh, no. I mean, you can never say that you are in this world and you don't have plans for yourself. But your plans must fit into the basic principles of Word of God. You cannot have a plan that is outside the principles of the Word.
Yes.
So you as an individual should have plans. But to have a plan without God is also disastrous. Because you will need faith to move along with your plans.
With your plan.
You will need Jesus to move along with your plans. There are certain situations that scientific analysis, logic framework can never make you overcome. But you will need God to help you, and that is why things like favor become very important. Because there are so many things that science cannot take you there, linkages cannot take you there, but favor will easily take you there and establish you. So that is why you will need God in your journey.
Thank you, Elder. So with this future we are talking about, we've already spoken about why we should have one. So then how can we develop one?
For me, let's look at Elisha. Elisha wanted to have a future. And his dream was to have double portion of the anointing of Elijah. So that was the dream and the future of Elisha. What did it take Elisha to get double portion of Elijah? The first thing was he was a good apprentice. He learned from his master. So if you want to have a desired future, you must learn. The second thing was the perseverance and consistency. Elisha never gave up, no matter the problems they went through with their master. Then you come to the issue of what I call the noise and observers. So I like the statement, observers are worried. There are so many things that will distract you from achieving your dreams and your future desires. But what Elisha did and was unique, and it was a command that Elijah gave, was that remain focused. So what was the instruction Elijah gave to Elisha? He said, if you see me going, if you see me, and to see somebody going,
that means
you need to focus on that person. And Elisha proved to Elijah that he has focused on him. So he shouted, and then the mantle dropped. So I use this a lot in my business dealing, in my daily life, that look, if you allow people to distract you from your main course, you will not be able to focus and you will miss the mark. And the mark sometimes comes in a flash. Then it's off.
Gone. Opportunity comes but once.
Yes, opportunity comes but once. So for me to get there, you must work hard, you must persevere, you must be diligent, you must forget about distractions that will come your way, and you must remain focused.
Elder, you've answered my next question, because my next question was going to be, what factors or things are we to consider in order to build the future we desire and the vision one wants in life?
I will add to it. For a long time, my best chapter in the Bible has been Daniel chapter 5. And the more I read Daniel chapter 5, the more I see so many things coming up. And it talks about how the king saw a hand writing something on the wall and got confused. And I had a topic from it that you don't use golden vessels for calabash functions. And I even put it on my status before. You don't use golden vessels for calabash functions. And I see a lot of people, including myself, sometimes we use golden vessels to perform functions that are supposed to be done by calabash. Me and you know what we use calabash for. We will use calabash to either drink water or drink palm wine, or drink pito. It's the basic and the traditional use of calabash. But when you are talking about golden vessel, there is no way you go and take a golden vessel and put palm wine inside it.
You won't do that.
You will never do that.
Exactly.
Good. You might want to put an expensive oil inside a golden vessel. So you had a king who took golden vessels from a temple and decided to use it to serve wine for his concubine. You are using that golden vessel for the functions of calabash. What it means is that God has given us wisdom. God has given us ideas. God has given us knowledge. But sometimes, instead of using these ideas and knowledge and wisdom to focus on things that are important, we bring ourselves down and muddy ourselves with so many irrelevant things. In that case, the wisdom and the knowledge that God has given to you, which is your golden vessel, you are using them for gossip. You are using them for laziness. You are using them for unnecessary attack on other people. All those ones, I will call them as calabash functions.
If you've been watching us, this is the Apostolic Church, Mount Zion Assembly. And for our Bible discussion today, it's not really about the Bible, but about ourselves, improving ourselves as Christians and as individuals. We are discussing building a desired future. And our guest, our resource person, is in the person of Elder Dan Aquaye. So from what you've said so far, that means that you'd have to be focused, you have to persevere, and you don't use golden vessels for calabash functions.
Never.
We shouldn't do that.
Yes.
Okay, so what steps does one take in building the desired future? In other words, how would I build the desired future, and how do I know that I'm on course? In the sense that I can be focused, I can have the spirit, the perseverance in me, I can have the courage, but then how will I know that all these things, all these qualities that I must possess, I'm using them in the right way, and the focus or the course on which I'm on is the right course? How will I know that?
First of all, what I will say is that this life is not a race. If it were to be a race, the swiftest will have always won. It is not a race. You must understand that God's timetable is different from man's timetable. But you must also have certain indicators. Are you making progress? Initially, your progress might be slow, and somebody's progress might be very, very fast. You should not be discouraged, because if you are going from Accra to Kumasi, there are some places that you have smooth. You will get to the middle and you have some bumpy road. Getting to the end, it might also be smooth. It's different. Some people will start on a very good note, but the middle is where the challenge is. And you might also start on a bad note, but the middle will be very smooth for you. So it's not a race. But you must always ask yourself, am I on course? Okay,
How will I know I'm on course?
Let's say you pick your occupation and you pick your profession. Are you progressing in that area? If you are sitting there for 5 years, 3 years, you are sitting at the same place, you are not making any progress, you are not making any attempt, you think that you have achieved, then you are a failure. So something must always come to you that, is this the end that I want? If not, can I go higher? And any step that you will make is part of your journey towards your future desire. I will use Daniel also as an example, and I like Daniel a lot. When the king was troubled in his heart, some woman came, the queen came and told the king that, why are you troubled? You have brought so many people, wise men, astrologers, soothsayers. You've brought all of them. They have no work. But I can assure you, there is a man in this kingdom. So I keep telling myself, if somebody says there is a man in this kingdom, in business sense, we'll have called it maybe distinguished capability. It means somebody has distinguished himself for a particular thing. And that is where learning and expertise become very important. There's a man in this kingdom, and that man is even able to dissolve complex doubts. So I look and say, oh, wow, how can someone make reference to you? Yours might not be dissolving complex doubts, but in your profession, in your area, whether you are a receptionist, whether you are a customer service manager, whichever way you find yourself, whether you are a doctor, you are a farmer, you are a lawyer, whichever way you find yourself, can someone make reference to you and say that, oh, all the people sitting here, don't be worried. There is a man in this kingdom. There is Deborah in this kingdom. There is Gideon in this kingdom. There is Tetteh in this kingdom. And then everyone believes that, okay, once we bring Deborah and we bring Tetteh and we bring all that, then it means our problem is solved. So you need to excel in your field of operation. That is excellent. Excel in your field of operation. And once you excel in your field of operation, you will be in Ghana, but people in America will get to know you and they will be looking for you.
Okay. So in that case, we've spoken about how to know we are on course. We need to excel. But what happens to being content with whatever being your lot?
There are certain things somebody will say, oh, this man has, but he's not content with what he has. Another person will say, don't be content with what you have. You need to move forward. To me, we all have certain levels of capacity and ability. Sometimes you'll be in class 5 and you might think that, oh, okay, that is the end. That's the end. I have achieved in class 5. Ask yourself, can you go to class 6? And what does it, if the answer is yes,
that means there's more to
then there's more to go. But if you want to look at challenges and based on the challenges you decide to stay at class 5, then you have not achieved. Because as for the challenges, they will be everywhere. Anytime you are moving from class 1 to class 2,
you have... you did in class 2 is
yes.
So, but
if you want to look at, oh, this thing it will be too difficult, I think I will end it here. And then you call yourself, but when you end it there, you know that within your heart, every time you sit, something comes to your mind. I could have.
So is it that we set limitations to ourselves?
So don't set those limitations for yourself. When I started my profession and occupation, fresh from school and right after national service, I set up my own consulting firm. And I remained as such. Occasionally, you go and do some long-term consultancy for some institutions, but you still remain a consultant that you want to be. And it was not easy. Nobody can say that starting your own business, not only in Ghana, in this world, is easy. And I think there's a record that shows that 90% of businesses fail in year one. So if I have remained in business for over 20 years, then maybe I have not failed. But it doesn't mean that I have reached where I want to be. The reason why I say I have not reached there is that when I was growing up in my profession, I realized that anytime they talk about we want somebody to do management, we want a firm to do tax, we want a firm to do, like when we had this financial or bank crisis. Which institutions came to mind? Pricewaterhouse, KPMG. Those are the institutions. So I asked myself, where is an agribusiness firm in this country such that whenever governments, individuals, investors are looking for top-notch professionals to design an agribusiness program or to provide solution, they will go to. So they should not be going to the Pricewaterhouse and the rest. But I told myself, I need to have a firm to the likeness of Pricewaterhouse and KPMG. We might not be at the same scale, but in terms of content and quality of service, we should be at par. And that has been my benchmark, and I'm getting there.
And you are getting there.
And I'm getting there.
And if you've been watching us, this is the Mount Zion Assembly, and I hope you've been enjoying the conversation so far. We are talking about how to build a desired future. We would have to end today's discussion here. It's been an interesting conversation so far. I am learning a lot, and I know and believe you are learning a lot. So same time next week, we will bring you part 2 of building a desired future. So till then, like our page, share, turn on that notification so that anytime we come online, you will get it. It has been a blessing coming your way. God bless you. See you next week. Bye for now.